from Los Angeles, California. We're the Mad Scientist Party Hour.
What is up, friends? And welcome back to another episode of Mad Scientist Party Hour. My name is Kevin Kraft, joined once again by a man who has burned his pants and underwear off with a magnifying glass. And now he's using that magnifying glass to find and jack his boner. That's Jeff Clark.
Hey, Boominati.
And
Fucking piece of shit.
Beaming to us from the dungeon in Castle Grayskull, the bearded booger-eating Eternia fleshlight known as Shuddy Boy.
Yo. Brah, brah.
And joining us for the first time, the incomparable Trevor Goober.
I don't get like a smart little quip about me.
No,
Don't get that.
We'll wait
You
until
all
like
on?
your third.
Hear how the other two
I was
went?
waiting for my roast, man.
No, we're nice to new guests.
Yeah, we'll wait until you've been
So
on for like
second time,
your third or
yeah.
fourth time, and then we'll start talking
Right.
about you like jacking off or shitting your pants or something.
Yeah.
Something on brand.
Cool.
The third time you hear that'll be a molester mustache. That's what Kevin would say, not me. Not me. I think it's a lovely mustache.
All right, that's fair.
I mean,
Thank you.
I think Kevin's an asshole for that, but
Yeah, that was a terrible thing for Kevin to probably say if he had the chance.
I'll hold you to that. Yeah.
I would hold that. I would hold Kevin to that too.
So, Trevor, you are the breakout star of the poster that is behind three of us in this Zoom call.
Yeah.
Clint Medlock in The Second Coming of John Cooper. And
Yeah.
I've always said,
Crazy.
I can't wait till the movie's out so we can have you on, and it's taken so fucking long. I was just like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's just have Trevor on.
You're like, let's have him on before he turns 30. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's fair. Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I feel a little. I'm just like in the jungle right now, but I should have my own poster up. You know, is that? It's different for you, Kevin. You're not on the poster, so I feel like it's as the director, it's more appropriate. I feel like it's a little vain for me to have a poster up with my face on it.
Well,
So I
speaking of
haven't
vain,
gotten that far.
my face is not on the poster, but for some reason my name appears in the building block like 16 times. And
Does it really?
yeah, I even
Well,
talked to our executive producer Ben, and when like the building block came through, I'm like, it's comical. Like this has to change. We have to. I
It's
don't
very
need.
Tommy Wiseau.
Yeah.
Very
It
really
Tommy
does.
Wiseau. Like just executive producer, director. written by-
A film by Kevin Kraft. Executive producer, Kevin Kraft.
yeah.
Screenplay by Kevin Kraft.
Mm-hmm.
Directed by Kevin Kraft.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I'm a anybody who gets into entertainment has some level of vanity to them and ego. But even that surpasses, and like I was just like, this is the silliest
Yeah.
thing ever. Like it's almost like it's a joke hidden within the poster.
It kind of is. I mean, my guess is that there must be like a Hollywood default, right? Where like they kind of just put that in. Like the poster designers definitely have the block of like, here's what we have to include. But I can just imagine them like going through the fucking credits like,
Well, and-
we
and
only
a
have
lot of-
Kevin.
Yeah,
Yeah, a lot of times there are different names. Like,
Yeah. They're like, I guess it's Kraft again.
I'm like, we could have a smaller building block and cut my name out. Like, okay, a film by Kevin Kraft, sure. Executive producer, sure. That is true.
Some might say a film by encompasses all the credits that you just listed
Yeah.
afterwards.
Yeah. Can we go Spike Lee and just call it like a Kevin Kraft blunt?
Ooh.
Ooh.
Nah, no one's doing that. But
There you go.
yeah, I got to say, you have a very interesting story about how you became a part of the film.
Do I?
I think you do.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you imply? I don't know the story.
You know
What-
the story.
what am
You probably just don't think it's as interesting as I do. But
Okay. No, yeah, you tell it.
when we were, casting the movie, our casting director was fielding all the, the incoming auditions. We didn't have the budget or the wherewithal to sort of get an office to hold in-person casting.
I thought you were about to say we didn't have the budget to get someone famous or good, which is also true. But yeah, continue.
We got some famous people in there.
Oh yeah, no, we did. I meant for Clint. Like, like as soon as you went to budget, I was like, this is the story of how I got here.
Look,
we didn't have a budget. Trevor arrived.
Fame is one thing, but as far as good, you seriously fucking crushed it.
Well, thank you.
Like, I can't count the amount of times people have come up to me after screenings, or I sent them a screener to watch, and they wrote back and they were like, "Holy shit, where the hell did you find Trevor?" Because I mean, our casting director, she was getting all these things, and it took a minute. We got all these auditions flooding in, and some people looked the part but weren't all that great at the acting. Some people were good at the acting but did not look the part at all. And our casting director, Jenna, she didn't want to really put her thumb on the scale. Like, she had clear front runners in her head, but she was like, "I'm going to send you another batch. There might be a winner in here. There might not. I'm not saying who, but just give me your thoughts." And when I saw your audition for Clint, it was like, holy shit, that is who I wrote. Like, your performance as Clint, your delivery was all perfect. And when I was like, oh, duh, it's fucking Trevor. Obviously Trevor is Clint. And she was like, I thought you were going to say that. And you had retired from acting, which is funny because we're going to make so many jokes about how young you are throughout this episode.
Yeah, well, even at the rap speech you gave, you were like, "Thanks for coming out of retirement to do this movie." And I was like, yeah. I guess, yeah, that is my side of the story. Maybe that's interesting. I feel like anyone who's not in the acting world, at least for me, the way that it goes with auditions is it's always the stuff you want that you don't book. This is a great story to tell on the director's podcast.
So you did not want this part?
No. Well, I didn't know about it, to be honest. Like, the shoe-in is it was a form of unrelated nepotism, because the casting director is someone that I know and love dearly, and she was like pushing for weeks for me to do this audition, and I was like, I don't tape. I don't do it anymore. I do stand-up, I do music. That makes me sound like an asshole, but I was a child actor. I did a lot of acting, and then living here, I just get a lot more enjoyment doing my own stuff. So I hadn't been auditioning for years, and I really didn't want to do a self-tape. So I just kept being like, I'm good. Thank you so much. I'm good. And eventually she was like, I really just need you to do this. And so, like, as a favor, I did it. And I guess, again, if anyone's not in the acting world, I think that there's a certain confidence and nonchalance that comes with not caring about what you're auditioning for.
Well, yeah, no pressure.
So therefore, I was like the person. Like, I just did it as myself, because I really didn't think anything was going to happen either. Like, I guess, like, you can kind of recognize under my layer of like, I don't do that anymore, is a lot of pain and rejection. I'm like, oh man, I'm done with these CW shows where I have to be a store clerk and I have to read 3 lines and devote my afternoon, and it doesn't work out and whatever. So, I was kind of hesitant.
It's kind of like how I quit Tinder. It's just
it's literally
exactly wasn't happening for me. So I was like, you know what? No, I'm done with this shit. I'm done with this shit.
Yeah, and no matter how much one of your friends is hounding you about getting back on Tinder, you're kind of like, I'm good. But no, and it worked out for that reason. I honestly think if I had wanted this part, I wouldn't have gotten it. That's just sort of how the universe works, So, yeah, it was great. It was really an affirming thing, and it got me back into the acting world, because it was like, oh, okay, I just did this as myself. And then that's how I did the movie too. Like, I talked about this at a festival recently, Kevin, or one that we did on Zoom or something, one of the panels. But like, it was such a cool movie to do because it's a mockumentary, which is so rare for a feature. But like, for me, I just, like, again, I'm going to sound pretentious. This isn't an acting podcast, and I'm sorry, but I feel like for that kind of thing, I always approach acting with truth. Even if it's a dumb comedy and you're like doing a poop joke, I just think that you got to commit and treat it like Shakespeare. And so it was such a gift to like prepare the least amount possible and just show up and react to things. And, you know, I just did the movie as myself, basically. And that was like such a fun, affirming thing and definitely got me back into it. So thanks to Kevin for that. And thank God it was like what, I guess, the movie, you know, what you were looking for and what Clint needed. And I just kind of became, it wasn't hard to become Clint. Just kind of, it's mostly just me.
I mean,
Kevin, did Trevor's hard to get move help like and motivate you to pick him for the Clinton role? You're like, oh, that guy clearly doesn't want this movie. I need him.
No, but it did make me sexually harass him constantly on set.
Nice.
No, I did, because I didn't know. Like, Jenna, our casting director, she never gave me any more information than I needed because she wanted me picking people that I thought who were the best, and not the people that she thought were the best. But every time she was like, all right, I'm sending you a batch of like 20 auditions. I have a feeling the one is in there. We always it was always the same person. We were always on the same page with who we were casting for the you know, the leads, for all the main cast members. There was a little bit of shifting around for, like, there were people that auditioned for other parts, and I was like, no, they are this person, and they got cast, and that's who they ended up playing. But as far as the main cast, we were on the same page for everybody.
Man, well, shout out to Jenna for that too. Like, even just for some reason, she really knew that this was a movie that I should be a part of, and it's she did push. Yeah, I can tell on my side of the story, like, as someone who was like, nah, you know, she was like, I really need you to do this.
So you've done, and because it was a lot of people's first time working in comedy, like cast and crew. But you've done comedy in the past. I mean, your whole life is comedy. You do stand-up, you do comedy music. So what was it like getting to bring those chops to a mockumentary?
Yeah, man. No, like I said, it was just a gift. Like, I really did just get to show up and be like, there are shots in the movie where I react to a joke in the script that I guess I purposefully stayed away from when I was memorizing my lines, and Lane would say it, and I look at the camera like in disgust because I just hate some of the jokes you make him make. And like, that made it in the movie. And it's, I look at that and I'm like, that's just me reacting to this script. Like, that's like, I think the gift that comes with that was that the cameras, like, to elaborate on my truth thing, it's like, there's always an element of disbelief, obviously, when you're committing to any sort of acting role, because you've got cameras in your face when you're filming a movie. So it's, you know, there's always a bit of an actor mind. And this was, being a mockumentary, this was like, oh, my reality here as a character includes these cameras.
Yeah, the cameras are characters.
Exactly. So that was I feel like I utilized, at least in the final edit, it's almost annoying how many times I'm looking at the camera. It's funny that the other actors, everybody had their own approach to it, and I feel like I was the one hamming it up to the cameras, but it wasn't on purpose. It was just like, oh, these are right here in my face, so I'm probably going to look at them.
Well, it worked. I told everybody, I'm like, if the moment feels right and you want to play a reaction to the camera, then, you know, go for it. Yeah. And I feel like, you know, it happened here and there with, you know, Lane, who played John Cooper, and Alana, who played Jessa, who is Clint's girlfriend. Like, there were moments where they would shoot the camera a look, but I feel like story-wise, it worked better for the amount of times you played to the camera. And I even caught some stuff, because I've seen this movie, I don't know, probably close to 200 times now. And around watch 100, there is an awkward moment because in the story, John Cooper and Jessa butt heads a lot, and Clint is just kind of there like, ooh, this is awkward. I hope this blows over. And there's one moment where the camera like pulls back, and you're in the corner making this face like you have your kind of like your jaw kicked out. I never noticed it in 100 watches, and I saw that, and I just started fucking pissing myself. And now, every time I see it, like you know, at festivals and stuff where I'm like watching it in person, that one still gets me every time. So,
oh man,
is it hard to switch out of that though? Because I know it wasn't a very long shoot. We only shot for 13 days, but going from a world where you not only can but are somewhat encouraged to look at the camera and play to the camera, is that an easy switch to flip off once you go into the next gig?
Yeah, I mean, again, like I think I really benefited from it being a comedy. Like everything you said, it didn't feel like other acting work I've done. It was like the easiest. This was the switch where it's like, oh, I can turn off all these like chops I learned at acting school and at the academy and all the, I can just show up and be myself. So like that face you're talking about, I have no clue what you're talking about. But it was all like my goal was to be as under rehearsed as possible, which sometimes, to their credit, frustrated the hell out of my co-stars. But I just felt like I wanted to experience it like someone in a documentary would experience things, and yeah, so it played to my favor. Like it didn't even feel like an acting job. I think so much of the movie, on my side of things, when you watch the movie, it's just how I was feeling. If I look tired in a scene, that's not a choice. Like I was probably just feeling tired because it was a 13-day shoot and we had just done an overnight or something, and it's like, okay, I guess Clint is tired. And like, there's just like, I don't know. I played it like that. And I was really surprised. It's funny, during another affirming part of the movie was like, of doing the movie, was you were a great director, Kevin. First of all, I'll boast about how good Kevin was as a director, but you also knew, because it was your first time, I was playing it looser than some of the other actors. So once we'd get something, you'd be like, let's do it a little more Clint, like, which was your way of saying, can you do the script I wrote? Like just once, can we do the lines that I wrote for the movie and make the choices that we talked about in rehearsal? So we'd do that, but what was really affirming was in the edit. I felt like so much of Clint's stuff is from those first takes, which was like, oh, that's a lot of faith in me, and I'm glad that some of the choices I was doing worked out. Like it almost feels like an 80-20 ratio of like Trevor choices versus the stuff we rehearsed in a lot of that, and that was really awesome. Like there's like a whole, again, spoilers. Sorry, Jeff. There's like an opening scene is me just showing the apartment. I'm just sort of doing a tour of the apartment while watching the movie. I think the second time I was like, wait, that wasn't even in this script. Like, I'm pretty sure Kevin was like, hey, just show the place, you know? And we just filmed a bunch of stupid ad libs of me showing props and stuff. And like the fact that any of that made it into a movie that already had to cut so much, I was like, oh man, okay. That's great. Like, I'm glad that it worked. So yeah,
I think that
really
was
awesome, affirming experience.
That was one of the fun things about doing the movie, and like, of course, being the writer and director, was nothing was set in stone. So there were days where I was like in my head driving to set. I'm like thinking of more ideas about what we're shooting that day, and I would stop at a light and I would take my phone out and like rewrite scenes or write new ones, and then I would show up, which I'm sure was annoying as fuck, but I'm like, all right, here are some changes today. And it's one thing to write a script, to get to set and start shooting it, but once you're there, it feels more real. And I was like, holy shit, like just one day I was sitting in my living room smoking a joint, looking at a blank page. I came up with an idea for this apartment. I wrote the script. I rewrote it. I polished it a whole bunch of times. And I was like, I can't believe I'm like, I was almost starstruck by the world I was in. I was like, I'm in fucking Clint's apartment. This is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And when you're there,
totally.
You start seeing things obviously more clearly. And you're like, oh, there's a really good bit we can do with this. And our production designer, Marcel, who is awesome, like, put together this John Cooper shrine that wasn't in the script, but when we went to the prop house and we were like looking for things that could work in this world, it just sort of came out of that. Like that was another cool thing, going to a prop house and looking at, it was like a Costco of just props. They had like 2 different drug aisles, which is like mountains of cocaine and bundles of heroin all over the place. And I was like, there's nothing about a bundle of heroin in the script, but we're taking that bundle of heroin. That's coming with us.
That explains all the drug montages in the movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, like those are always those always get huge reactions when we do like public screenings of it.
I mean, it's just like pure play. It was so rad. Me and Dustin, I loved working with Dustin. I always talk about how like I think Dustin's a little afraid of me because of how much I loved him. Like I wouldn't leave that guy alone. Even at the after party, I was like a little intoxicated. I'm pretty sure I followed Dustin to his Uber. That's how much I was like talking to Zero. I love Dustin. And it was so fun to like just play around because I think so many of the actors in the movie came from. Sorry that this is Hollywood Showcase, by the way, Shuddy and John. I love that this is just a discussion of John Cooper. Let's do 2 more hours. But yeah, it was so much fun to have different actors from all these different backgrounds, really classically trained actors, stand-up comedians. Like I'm kind of from like a little bit of both, and so it was really cool to like see everybody's process. And I feel like me and Dustin approached a lot of the scenes in the same way and had fun with each other. And those drug montages, like so much fun, just improving stuff. And yeah, it felt like a gift. Again, on a 13-day shoot, that's such a tight schedule. You've got some of Hollywood's best filming this movie because of when we filmed it. So it feels like it should have been higher stakes. Like it should have been like very organized, like felt like we had to do that when you've got, feels like a 40-person crew in this tiny house. And they're all like,
oh, yeah.
You've got a pro DP and like all this stuff. It takes so much to set up the lighting and everything. But somehow it didn't feel like that. It was like, oh, now let's run to the window. I'll put the horse head on and then I'll ride on your back and then we'll run through the hallway. And it's like, and we just made it happen. So
yeah, I mean, the script I think was like 100 pages. And the first edit wound up 2 hours and 5 minutes. And
see, that's got to be the Patreon exclusive.
I would love to see the director's cut of The Second Coming of John Cooper.
Yeah.
I will say, it probably wouldn't be that much longer because there was some stuff that definitely needed to be cut. And even if you're laughing through a comedy, people feel runtimes these days.
Yeah.
And anything that gets over, 100 minutes, it wears on you, even if the stuff you're watching is good. So for a comedy, I did want to keep it tight. There definitely were some jokes and stuff that got cut out that weren't essential to the story, strictly for runtime purposes. And there were some jokes and gags and stuff that I really missed. And that first 2 hour and 5 minute edit, there was also stuff, because like you said, there were moments that weren't in the script. And without saying the scenes because they're kind of spoilerly, but like I would be like, just take the camera, go off and live in this world for a little bit. Just take this camera for like 15 minutes and get some footage and be weird. And that stuff fell through the cracks. And I was like, hey, what happened to this stuff? So if all that stuff had made it in, it probably would have, the first cut would have been like 2 hours and 10, 2:15, which is absurd. It's fucking absurd.
One of the jokes that I am so glad that didn't make it on the cutting room floor, not to get too specific, but it's when Jessa is explaining why she thinks her father doesn't like Clint. And that joke, when I read the screenplay, like I was dying with laughter because I just pictured it and she delivered it. Like I love that. When I saw that on screen, I laughed every single time. Like it's... That's all I have to add to this conversation.
I had people that wanted to cut that.
Powerful stuff.
They were like, I don't get it. And I was like, I kind of like it. Let's leave it in.
Other than mine and Jeff's part of the movie, it's probably the highlight of the entire film.
Well, that's what I feel like. That's what's great about this script and what ended up with the final edit too. Is first of all, like, you making sure the runtime was under 100, I think also helps it feel nostalgic. Like I've gotten a lot of that when we talk to people after the movie. They're like, man, R-rated comedies are back, and like it feels like it's from an era that's a little bit bygone right now. So the runtime helps. Thanks for not making it Oppenheimer length. But also, I love that, it's very, like, couple jokes per minute, but not everything's going to sit with everybody. Like, not everything's going to hit. It's a lot of hit and miss. It's almost like stand-up in a way. Like, there's some stuff that just doesn't... I've watched it a few times. I hate watching myself, but I've watched it in, like, small group context when I was showing some friends, and it's interesting to kind of see how it reads there. And then when we did, I think it was Culver City Film Festival, and some of the Puminati flew in, and it was just, like, a packed house. That was, like, powerful, And then you just hear this, like, thunderous roaring, which was different from, like, the cast and crew premiere, where we had all heard the jokes 5 times at least. So like everything kind of like every audience seems to react to it differently. And I hear that same thing happened at Kevin Smith's thing, right? Like they reacted to stuff that wasn't reacted to before. So it's little lines like that I agree with you, Shuddy. It's just like some of that stuff, especially the ones that you have to think about for a sec, that are just so stupid but like brilliant at the same time. Yeah, those are my favorite jokes in the movie too.
Yeah, my buddy Kay was telling me that, because he was like, one of the things I love about it is there's the rate of jokes coming is really high, and not every single one of them you're like doubled over, like, you know, slapping your knee, but you're like, oh, like you get like an internal like, I like that. You're not like outwardly expressing it, but you're just like, oh, that was a good one, because we've all seen comedies that are just abysmal, and they'll swing hard for a fucking joke, and it just lands with a thud, and you're just like, ugh. And I think what we were able to do is kept that to a minimum. I don't think there's too many jokes where even if you don't laugh at it, you're not like, oh God, that fucking stunk.
Yeah.
It's
what
just
you're
like,
saying makes sense. It's just such a funny way to advertise your comedy. You're like, we kept it at the mid-level the entire time. So don't worry. We didn't swing for anything. So some of it will hit, but most of it you'll chuckle through your nose. And
there are
move
big
on.
swings. There are big swings. There are
big swings,
big
yeah.
jokes that get the same reaction every showing. And then there are some where like, all right, that joke didn't do well at the last screening, but got huge fucking laughs at this one. And then afterwards, people come up to me and tell me their favorite jokes, and it's always different.
Yeah.
Which I also like, because if everybody had the same favorite joke, it's just like, all right, that kind of means all the laughs are kind of honed into this one small moment. Everybody telling me all their favorite moments, and they're just all wildly different. Like even Shuddy Boy. Like Shuddy Boy's got that line that he's loved since he read the script and loves since he saw it on the big screen. Like I think that's kind of like what my buddy was trying to say. Like there are so many just like micro jokes scattered throughout that like it never gives you a chance to get bored. So I'm glad you guys all were able to find those moments and make them shine, especially with an unexperienced first-time director at the helm.
It's a good time. Yeah. I mean, also shout out to the editor. His name's Marshall Granger?
Yeah.
Is that his name? Yeah. So good. I mean, I can't imagine having to like just make an educated decision on some of those jokes too. Like the stuff that did end up on the cutting room floor. It's a big task. Especially because like I think about, like I was saying, like we do a take and then at least on my end, like my director's note would almost always be like, we're gonna do Clint now, you know. And so there's so many options. Like every scene that made the movie, I feel like, at least the ones I was in, like had like 3 different routes to go. Like, which one are you going to cut to here? So yeah, that must have been a daunting task.
It was interesting too, because you know when I sit down and write something, you know, especially the comedies, I'm just opening the floodgates and letting it go. And as everybody knows, I have one of the most infantile, immature, stunted senses of humor ever. So I write something and I'm like, haha, it is done, my opus. And then I have to like take it to people, and then I'm just like, oh, they're getting just like the complete raw, unfiltered sense of humor that I have. So like you said, our DP comes from like making these just like beautiful looking, almost Oscar bait dramas. And then it's just like, all right, so when Clint makes this poop joke, how about we swing the camera? It's like bringing all these people into my scumbag world. And Marshall, he's one of the, like, pretty much everybody on the crew is like, never really done comedy before, so this is fun. Like, we usually doing horror or drama. And when I'm sitting in the editing bay with Marshall, he was awesome. I mean, he's so fucking talented, but he's personality-wise very opposite of me. Like, he's a very serious guy. Anytime I go to somebody's house, the first thing I do is I go to their DVD rack, and I just start like looking at their stuff. And he had so many Criterion editions, which I also was like, I got that Criterion. But I'm like, I noticed there's no like, you don't have like American Pie, you don't have MacGruber. Yeah. So it's like, oh, I'm taking this guy who like probably excelled in film school and makes very dramatic pieces to my world full of fart, dick, and cum jokes all over the place. And everybody, I'll give them their credit. Nobody treated it like, all right, finally a project I can just phone in and take a paycheck on. No. Everybody treated it like they were making Oscar bait, which is fucking crazy. But Trevor, where did you kind of like get your start? Like, when did you know you wanted to be an entertainer, and how did you just sort of break through into it?
Yeah, really young. I just I don't know if you've seen The Cable Guy. It's like a less screwed up version of that. Like,
look at the reaction of Jeff.
Yeah. Okay.
One of my favorite films ever. I quote it all the time.
Yeah. Hell yeah, man. It's like a less dark version of that, but I was just really, as soon as I found TV as this like new invention, because I was young, it was just like, oh my God, I like fell into everything. And it's funny because I do a lot of all ages stuff, and that comes from my background too, because I feel like as a toddler I was watching like The Wiggles, but I was also watching Monty Python and the Holy Grail and Ferris Bueller and stuff I shouldn't have been watching. So my whole personality is just this like cluster of a bunch of random entertainment. And so it's one of those situations, it's cliche, but it was like, there's nothing else I can do. I'm not going to be an accountant with all of that. What am I going to do with all this stuff in my brain? So I didn't have stage parents or anything. I wasn't one of those child actors that was like pushed into it, but I fought for it. Like, I was doing musical theater camps and all these like, just all the things that kids have access to. And then eventually, like, through school, I started working. So just became this, it's funny. It's like, I say no stage parents because I think my parents were very traditional, and they were like, hey, like they cared more about me finishing my homework, and then I'd be missing, a quarter of the school year to like shoot something, but they'd be like, make sure you get the homework done, So it's funny that, my whole upbringing was like fighting to be where I'm at now, and I'm glad I did. And then I was in John Cooper, and now I can retire again.
Yep.
That's my story.
Off those big fat John Cooper residuals.
How do I top it? Other than the third coming of John Cooper, I've got to, there's nothing to do.
How did you like being a lost boy?
What? Where'd you read that? Where's that one from?
IMDb. That your first stage performance was at age 3 as a lost boy in Peter Pan.
Yeah, I have no memory of it because I was 3. But
oh wait, you weren't like Kiefer Sutherland, Lost Boy, like 80s vampire.
So like, damn, you were fighting your parents at 3 to get in movies? That's fucking badass. It's really his lifelong dream.
Yeah, not as badass, Peter Pan. I guess that was my first role. Some agent I've had in the past probably put that on my IMDb. It was great. It was great. Definitely my best role thus far. Clint comes second. Yeah. I remember I was a hammy kid. Like, I wasn't a class clown. I'm a very shy person, which I think a lot of actors are. Like, I'm not extroverted unless I'm performing, which I think is why stand-up is a bit of an outlet for me and music and stuff. But as a kid, I was very, like, I would get in trouble a lot for, like, I would do something that was, like, not allowed. As a lost boy, for example, I'd probably be, like, picking my nose and, like, making a face. And then they'd be like, can you stop stealing the spotlight from you're in the ensemble, 3-year-old. Let's not do that. But that was probably my first sign that I like needed to do. I wanted to be a director too as a kid, but I didn't know what that meant.
I never knew what that meant either.
I was going to be Spielberg, but then I found out what it was, and I was like, wait, I'm not the center of attention if I'm doing.
Yeah,
means
I'm behind the camera.
Means getting your fucking name on the billing block 5 times. That's what it means.
Yeah, that's lame. I want my face there, man. Yeah.
I was the same way. Like, I was always a ham when I was a little kid. Growing up, my grandparents had a camcorder in the house, so I was always taking it and like writing and filming skits with my buddies from school. But like, I knew nothing of the entertainment world, and neither did anybody in my family. So they were just like, shit, we have this just lightning orb of ADD who like clearly knows what he wants in life, and we have no idea how to get him there. And like, I thought when I was a kid that the actor I thought all movies were just sort of improv because I didn't understand it. So
you grew up around the Kevin Smith universe, right? Like,
Yeah,
the New Jersey.
I did, yeah. So, like, when I got a little older and I saw Clerks, that was when I had a little bit more understanding of what happened on a film set and what people's roles were. But, like, around the time that, Ace Ventura came out, I was just like, oh my God, Jim Carrey's a genius. How does he come up with so many funny things to say? And I kind of wanted to be an actor. And I did a little bit of acting in high school. I did fucking Shakespeare.
What?
And yeah.
What Shakespeare roles did you do?
So wait, while you were at Bing Boing School, you were doing Shakespeare. Okay, this was before
pre-Bing Boing School.
Okay.
So I was in 12th night, and I was like, oh, I'm not good at this. I'm a terrible actor. And I was like,
to be fair, to go from like 0 to Shakespeare is pretty insane. Like, I don't know if anybody would be good going into 12th night blind.
It was so funny too, because like it got a write-up in the local paper, and it said something to the effect of like, Shakespeare has never been so good or confusing, because 12th Night it's not like cut and dry like Romeo and Juliet. It is the driest of Shakespeare. So the parents were they probably had to turn the AC up so the parents didn't fucking fall asleep in the audience. But like that was the glass of water in my face. They're like, all right, you're not a good actor.
But was that your only acting role? Like,
yeah, that's great. If in some other universe,
he went back into retirement.
If you had just done a contemporary play that was a comedy, would your life have been different?
Yeah, maybe you shouldn't have thrown in the towel so soon. Fucking.
But then again,
like got up to the top of the mountain with a double black diamond, never being on a snowboard before, and then it went poorly, and being like, "I'm not a snowboarder. I'm not a snowboarder.
This shit's too hard. Fuck this."
Well, no, because there were times where I've written things and then I've been like, let me see if I could play this role. And even doing it in a room by myself with nobody around, I'm so in my own head that I cannot fucking I can't act. I'm a terrible fucking actor. So I was like, well, my first plan was to be Jim Carrey. And once I learned that Jim Carrey is not improving his way through the entirety of Ace Ventura, there's writers making these movies. Once I saw Clerks, I was like, that is the job for me. I'll stay behind the scenes. I will not be on camera. I'll write the world. I'll come up with the world. Never wanted to be a director. And the only reason I did it was because we could not afford to hire one. And they were just like, you know what, we'll be in your corner. We'll make sure nothing falls through the cracks. You know this script. You know this world. Just get it on screen the way you've always envisioned it. And I was like, all right. But remember, if this sucks because of the directing, that's on you guys. You guys pushed me into this.
And I don't think the directing hindered it at all. I'm not. At this point, a year past the premiere, if I thought it was awful, I would have found some way to let Kevin know that by now. But
the Letterboxd review would be edited for sure. Yeah.
But literally, it's the best movie I saw last year. Like, I had so much fun every time, both times I saw it, and that's not just sucking Kevin's dick because he's one of my best friends, or because you and I have become really, really good friends, Trevor. Like, it's legitimately a laugh out loud funny movie, and the world should fucking see it as soon as possible. And
so they gotta go to the Tub. They gotta go to the Tub Theater in LA.
Yeah,
book your seat.
Yeah, RSVP at the Tub Theater.
We should advertise this as the last screening. This is the last one. Streamers aren't gonna buy this, so you've got to fly out to the Tub, or it's that or nothing. You'll never know.
If you live anywhere near Saga, Japan, next month, no bullshit, John Cooper is playing in Japan.
Me? Dude, I've got friends in Japan. I've got to get it. I mean, who is going? Did somebody have to subtitle your dick jokes?
Yes.
That's actually brilliant, man. We should get a dub. Let's get a Japanese dub.
Real quick, I'll finish the plug for the Tub. And then, holy shit, do I have something to tell you guys. So, if you live in LA, near LA, you want to come and see a screening of it, a very intimate screening that myself, Trevor, Lane Compton, and Dustin Ibarra will be doing a Q&A at on Instagram at the Tub Theater. Just send them a DM. They don't sell their tickets online. It's strictly RSVP. So tell them if you're coming, you're bringing anybody, just how many seats you need. Come out. It's a very, very tiny theater. I have not seen it in person, but the pictures on Instagram, I like how like crunched in and intimate it is, and there's framed movie posters all over the place in like the hallway leading up to it. It looks fucking cool. So I'm stoked about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, LA.
No, it's like sitting backstage in a green room.
Yeah.
With the cast.
Yeah.
You'll not, I don't know.
I mean,
once this thing sells, you'll never have a more intimate opportunity to watch it with us.
100%.
Sure.
They even have the poster on Instagram at the moment.
Oh shit. Okay.
I just went onto their Instagram and right there it is.
Hell yeah. Yeah, this all came through Dustin as well. It's like that theater is owned by a family that Dustin is close with. And he had been talking about it, and they're like, let's set up a screening. So it's
sick.
Seating is very, very limited. So if you want to come, get on it. But I was talking about this a couple weeks ago, Trevor. So while doing the festival circuit, you go on this website, Film Freeway, you look at all the options, and there are an infinite amount of film festivals varying in size from just like nobody's going to come into this theater unless you invite people, and up to Cannes, Sundance, all the biggies. And I kind of was like, all right, I need to know my role here. I don't want to just bury myself in entry fees. So I was kind of selective about which festivals I would put it in. I wanted more comedy-specific ones, which was very cool recently winning, best feature in just an all-genre festival. That was really fucking cool.
Yeah.
But I was like, I know I'm going to do better in comedy festivals. And then I was just like, international. Let's just take a look around there and see what's shaking. And I saw something in Japan. The entry fee was $20, and I was like, fuck it. You know what? If it gets selected, which it won't, because how are these jokes going to translate into Japanese?
Like, they'll love it. Yeah, yeah.
So just on a whim, I forgot about it. And then I got an email saying, congratulations, Mr. Kraft. You have made it through the first round of cuts. You're not an official selection yet, but what we need from you we need the poster, we need stills from the movie, and we need an SRT file for English subtitles. And they were like,
insane.
And we need it by a week from today. So I found this company that charges like $200, and they will subtitle your movie. So they got it done in like 2 days. When I was in Florida last week, like it comes through. So I'm watching the movie again in the living room of this Airbnb with my family around, and like there were so many jokes that I'm hoping this isn't a common thing. They must have not landed because they got the subtitles for it wrong. Without giving away the joke, you guys will know this one. John Cooper's porn star name. They just put it as that person and didn't make it into a pun. So I had to, luckily I was able to figure it out, and I could make all the edits myself. So I watched the whole movie. I fixed all the subtitles. I sent it off to these people, and I'm like, there's no way. There's no way. This is not a comedy festival. It's in southern Japan. And they are not going to take a hard drug-addled, just late 90s, early 2000s style raunchy R-rated comedy. And it fucking got in. So I was like, shit, do I use this
crazy.
as an excuse to just make a trip to Japan? And I didn't look at where it was when I entered. I kind of was just like, well, it's got to be close to Tokyo, right? Could not be further from Tokyo.
Just middle of nowhere, Japan.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
And I
That's
also
better
heard
than Sundance.
that Japan's economy is not doing great right now, so they're saying like this is the perfect time to make a trip to Japan. So I was just like, well, fuck it. Let me see. I have so many credit card points saved up. I have so many frequent flyer miles saved up. All the traveling I've been doing lately has just been fucking free, which is sweet
right.
for my financial situation. But I looked at tickets to go to Saga Japan. There's no direct flights. There are no layover flights. The quickest flight there is 2 layovers, 34 hours. And it's expensive. Dude. And I would have to go by myself. And it's not like Austin. Like, I just flew to Austin, for a long weekend, and that was fine. Jeff was there. Yeah. We hung out a few times, but he mostly just stayed indoors watching sports ball. But, like, I don't think I want to go to Japan by myself for... You would need, like, at least 5 days to justify the time change in the flight. And it's just like, So I'm just going to go to southern Japan by myself.
But you're looking at almost a 10-day trip when you factor in travel, because it's 2 days there, 2 days home.
Yeah.
And not accounting for all the crazy shit that happens when you cross the international date line. So you could throw an extra, 5 days there, 5 days of traveling.
Yeah, not going to happen. So...
And not speaking the language. That would be...
And not knowing, the gravity of the festival, too. Like, you show up to the screening and there's 2 guys sitting there by themselves in the theater.
That's what it would be.
I flew 2 days. But maybe you're going to see footage from it and it's going to be like their Sundance and you're going to be super pissed you missed it.
I know. I mean, either way, in a perfect world, I would go. I mean, I've done weirder things than spend 5 days by myself in southern Japan. Fuck it. But I can't really justify the expense. But it also would be like, I can't fucking send out the poo signal. Any city in America we go to, if there was a showing in Canada, I could get butts in seats. I cannot get butts in seats in Saga Japan.
Could do it. We could even get at least one butt in Norway if you were doing a festival there. But I am not aware of a Japanese contingent of the Puminati.
Neither am I. No.
Not a lot of crossover. Yeah.
So, unfortunately...
We've been doing an anime recap show for a couple of years now, and still just can't break that Japanese market.
Because you guys aren't getting the subtitles. Now you gotta pay $200.
I have no idea what we're saying. But we do need to fucking caption it. Put it in Japanese. It's a good call, Trevor.
That's like one of the things when they wrote me the email saying, like, congratulations, you're now an official selection. They were like, we're going to get your English subtitles translated over to Japanese at no cost to you. And I was just like, ooh, that is interesting. I really wonder how those jokes would land with the Japanese audience. But
man, if Japan is the way that we get this movie sold, I'm telling you,
that would be fucking
if that's
crazy.
where we start streaming.
Listen, that would be just
fucking sick.
Get it somewhere. That's a start.
Yeah,
I'll take it.
Kevin, you love Japan.
Yeah. I mean,
you go out there for an extended movie press tour. Like you said, you've done weirder things. I mean, we have a podcast because you've done weirder things than hang out in South Japan for 5 days.
If Kevin knew that there was going to be a large turnout at this film festival, Kevin would have booked his flight already. So
I mean,
the second he gets any word that John Cooper he's dumping Carl, leaving little Lucy, and he's off to Japan.
Oh my God, that was so aggressively inaccurate.
That's how desperate he is. That's how desperate he is to watch his own movie on a big screen. Again. Yeah.
I mean,
the tub's not cutting it. The tub's not cutting it size wise.
That didn't get me my fix.
You won't dump his girlfriend over the tub. Need that Japan shit.
I could fly to Tokyo and take the speed train down there, and that would cut out the extra 4 days of traveling, but it would be so much more fucking expensive. And
is it how expensive? How is that more expensive?
Yeah, because I can't use my credit card points for a ticket on the Shinkansen.
It'll actually cost money. That's how. Okay. Sorry. It's not that the plane ticket price versus the train price is different. It's how you spend the money. It's like
I can use my credit card points to book a flight to Tokyo. I cannot use my points to get a Shinkansen ticket.
Well, how much is? I'll pay for the train ticket if you go out to Japan.
Let's see.
Jeff.
Yeah, how much is it? I heard the yen was down.
I'm not falling for that and being stuck in your pocket again. It was too much work getting out the last time. My jaw still hurts.
Shuddy. Let's get some facts and figures here. How much would it cost to get him down to Saga? Is it Saga in Japan?
Tokyo to Saga.
Shit, I forgot. Shuddy Boy's a former travel agent.
Oh yeah, he's gonna be able to get this done. Travelocity Shuddy, let's get it.
The Shinkansen doesn't go to Saga. I'm gonna need another.
God.
I'm gonna need another. What's the next nearest major city?
Well,
So I would
just get him
probably
as close as possible. We'll call an Uber.
I would
easy.
I don't know Japan's fucking.
I would probably have to get
You're a travel
a
agent.
ticket to Osaka, and then take like a bus from Osaka to Saga, which could. I mean, I don't know Japanese geography that well. It could be a fucking 8-hour bus ride.
Hold on.
There's a chance that this would be the craziest thing you've ever done. That'd be kind of cool.
Is this Saga Kodo City? Or no? Different Saga.
I think it's just
it's not Sega.
no.
Sega.
No, you're right.
That if it was called Sega, I would sell a kidney and go.
We could the Shinkansen goes to Fukuoka, which, according to Google, looking at it, is the closest big city. One person, search trains.
Shuddy's gonna get us an answer. This is beautiful.
From Rail Ninja.
This is good
From Rail
podcasting.
Ninja.
That's good.
$255 from Tokyo to
Fukuoka,
Fukuoka. Yes.
and
Is that
then
round trip?
No, that's one way. So it'd be $510 both ways.
and
But
then I
bet
still
you the
need to get to
flight-
Saga. Yeah, it's and then a fucking place to stay. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But we can't spend any more podcast time talking
Don't
about
they
this pipe
sell
dream.
like those 6x10 cubicles for like $50 a night?
Dude, I stayed in one of those. Remember?
Yeah. How
It was
much
terrible.
was it?
It was fucking terrible. It was $35.
And just for the record, it's a 45-minute bus ride from Fukuoka to Saga.
Okay.
And
I bet all.
2,830 yen, so I think that's $4.
No. That's like, I don't know, $25. But either way, I mean, I stayed in one of those capsule hotels. Never again. It was horrible. I hated it. You can hear every other person, every movement that they make, because it's like being in a soundproof room. So any noise is just amplified. So people are like snoring and sniffing and tossing and turning and farting, and I could not sleep. I had to go and wash myself in a communal shower. And in Japan, they all sit down on stools that are like six inches tall. So there's just like nuts and buttholes everywhere. I can't do it. I can't do it, Shuddy. It's too much.
That's the line. That's where Kevin doesn't spend money to
What's
see John
this
Cooper. If there's nuts
too
and
many
buttholes
nuts and
involved.
buttholes?
Yeah.
And then it's literally going to be me sitting by myself in that theater. I know how these
With
festivals
fans.
go. I've done enough of them. It's going to be so weird. So weird. Again, if this was a weird thing I could just do by like a road trip, done and done. Couldn't be an easier decision. But yeah, I will unfortunately have to miss the international premiere of The Second Coming of John Cooper.
Is there any place in continental America you'd be less willing to go? Like, would you be more willing to go to Saga, Japan, than like Little Rock, Arkansas, or something of that nature? Galveston, Texas.
I mean,
We already did Texas.
I would prefer going to Japan, but as far as like all the hoops I would have to jump through and money
Logistics.
I would have to spend, yeah, I'd be in Little Rock. But anyway, whatever. But done and done. Come out to the tub. Wednesday,
This was a good promo. Yeah.
8
this
p.m.
was a good
8
promo
p.m.
for the
showing.
Tub.
The Tub
8
Theater's in
p.m.
K-Town. It's going to be
In
fun.
2 days.
Yeah,
Man.
this happened way quicker than I thought it was.
You were on a flight, but I was calling Kevin to be like, what the hell's going on? Like, what are we, what is this? We're going to the tub?
Yeah,
What are
and
you talking about?
I was just getting like little drips of information from Dustin in between stand-up acts. So like, I was trying to tell Trevor, I'm like, dude, I'm as much in the dark as you are. I'm pretty sure the movie's gonna play though.
Well, for sure, they're promoting it, right? It would be awesome if it just becomes a meet and greet with no movie in a tub.
Yeah, we're all in a bathtub.
Yeah.
You have your swimmies on.
Oh, cool! I brought my little ducky. So, Trevor, what are some of like the biggest acting roles you've done outside of John Cooper, which is obviously
Man.
a mega role?
I mean, I've done a lot of theater, a lot of stand-up, so most of my roles have been adjacent to that. I did a big Funny or Die series. That was an anthology that just involved a lot of my characters and sketches. I was in a lot of kid stuff when I was a kid, so probably not a lot of crossover for the Puminati. But I was in a Canadian show called Girl Without a Phone, which was kind of on like the Canadian equivalent of Nickelodeon and stuff like that. So that was big for I still get recognized for it, even with the mustache. It's kind of crazy.
No shit.
Especially if I go to Disneyland or something, it'll just be like, I mean, it's more of a has-been recognition. When I was a teenager, it was the coolest, man. I'd be out like on a date. Somebody'd be like, I love you. I'd be like, oh, cool. But now it's like they're like 19-year-olds that are like, were you an actor? Were you somebody in the past? Which is awesome. Makes me feel great.
Are you famous?
Did you used to be something?
Well, that's one of those things when you do like child entertainment, your brain just remembers so much more stuff. So like that, like,
it's
and
in
especially
the back. It's in the crevices of somebody's mind. Yeah,
and those people like there's when you're young and there's like a kid show that you're all about. Those people are like A-listers. Like those are your fucking Brad Pitts. Like when I was young, it's always interesting talking to people like in different age groups and like finding what their pocket was, because like it's this very narrow window of certain programming. Like you're either too young for it or too old for it. But the sweet spot for me on Nickelodeon was like, Double Dare, Salute Your Shorts, and Hey Dude and stuff like that. And Salute Your Shorts was my favorite show ever. It was back when kid shows could be a little fucked up and a little rough around the edges. And it was these kids in a summer camp just torturing their camp counselor and sneaking out and breaking rules and all the stuff that I feel like modern day kid shows, like they can't have.
Oh, totally.
They can't glorify
Nick used to
breaking
be like
the rules.
Anarchy.
Yeah.
It used to be anarchy for sure. It was the anti-Disney.
There was stuff I wasn't allowed to watch on Nickelodeon at some point.
What weren't you allowed to watch? Like, because I wasn't allowed to, and this is another Canadian show, but I was not allowed to watch You Can't Do This on television. That was too crude for my parents.
Ooh, dang.
I mean, that show was fucked up, and that's kind of what launched Nickelodeon. Nickelodeon poached that from Canadian programming. That's like where like Alanis Morissette got her start. But there was it was a kids sketch show, and there was this one character named Barf, I think, or Garth or something like that. And he was disgusting, and he worked at this burger joint, and he always had like a lit cigarette hanging out of his mouth, and he would say like things so nasty that the kids would vomit, and he would get a bucket to catch their puke because that's what he made the food out of, like their puke. Like like kids programming was gnarly back in the day. So
America stole that from Canada.
Yeah.
Nice.
You're welcome. Yeah.
So when I was a kid, like if I ever met anybody from Salute Your Shorts, it would have been like Budnick. He was the ginger kid with the mullet in Terminator 2, who like tells the T-1000 when they're in the arcade, like, "Oh, John Cooper, John Connor went that way." Like,
wouldn't it be that would be batshit crazy if right now was when you figured out that you accidentally stole a character name from Salute Your Shorts for your movie?
Oh, dude, that has been present in my head my entire life.
John Cooper.
That never would have been a steal. That would have been an active like.
Got a dub.
I did that on purpose. But like, so you're probably somebody's like Budnick. So when they see you,
it's a lot of weird stuff. I mean, I don't really have concrete answers, like, because I kind of left that world. But a lot of kids, I still feel hesitant to talk about it because of how tight the lawyers are on some of those kids' networks. But like you mentioned, hey, dude, should I? I guess I'm doing it. We're don't cut this. Nope. Like, there was a reboot that was originally going around for Hey Dude. So they were still, when I was there, it was still kind of filled with this anarchy. And then, not to name names, but that was like run by someone who turned out to be a little problematic. And that's why suddenly we're on the safer side of kids programming. Check out the documentary. I guess I'm plugging the documentaries now. But it's still kind of, like, they were always trying to be the edgy channel. And so, like, even... I remember the Hey Dude script being like pretty wild, man. But I would pop up in I'm one of the kid actors that benefited ? From being not popular at all. Everything I did was a failure. So I did kind of escape the realm. It was a bummer at the time, but now I'm like, okay, well, at least I didn't deal with what some of my friends dealt with at the same time. So, I had my anonymity and I continued to, which is nice, but I still was in that world. It was a lot to observe, and yeah, Nick was always the edgy one at the time, and I think that kind of ended in accordance with some events.
Well, yeah, I mean, even the guy that created fucking Ren and Stimpy got canceled for being a creep.
Yeah, the animation world's a whole other beast. I never really saw. I did a lot of voiceover too. Actually, I was a lot of Barbie movies. I was an uncredited. Like additional voice. When I was a kid, I still have a voice for it, but especially when I was a kid, I was like, blah, 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 blah. Like I was a gold mine. They'd bring me in. They didn't have to pay me. I was on contract. So a lot of the time you'd hear like, summer has arrived and you're watching blank. And it would be me.
Man, we got to get you to cut some like MSPH bumpers.
Yeah, I want to go back. Yeah, I want to do more unpaid promo work. So. I've missed that.
That's good because that's in our price range.
Awesome.
Yeah, because when you're young, you don't really understand programming schedules, seasons, stuff that's on TV. No. You're just like, well, this will always be on TV, and then it's fucking gone. And
yeah.
I always wanted to get like the collections of like everything from Salute Your Shorts, and they eventually put stuff on Paramount Plus, but it's like half of it, like half the episodes are missing.
Yeah, there's a reason.
one of my favorite ones was where they played Capture the Flag on camp, and it was like they were done with like military strategy and hiding in the bushes and jumping out and hitting people with water balloons for Capture the Flag. And I was trying to find it on YouTube, and I found a lot of like behind the scenes outtakes. And it was interesting because like, we didn't have anybody under 18 on set, but I know that when you have a child on set, it like everything changes. Like all the rules change. You have to have like a tutor on set.
That's probably because of Salute Your Shorts.
Probably. But they were doing stuff where like
Shorts was as strict as you think. Yeah.
The actor that played Ugg like jumps in the lake and he's like, fuck, it's fucking cold in here. And he's like in front of the whole cast of like young teens, and I'm just like, those were fun days.
The good old times. Yeah. You know what was crazy for me about being a kid on some of those networks was I'm Canadian. We didn't have those networks. So I had no clue about the cultural impact of like Nick actors and Disney actors and things like that. Like even the stuff that was in the 90s, but even up until like, I don't think Canada got Disney Channel until like 2015.
No shit.
So yeah, we had all these Canadian equivalents that were gaslighting us. The other thing is Canadian government, it's great for actors, but like, especially at this time of cable, a certain percentage of what they aired on any Canadian channel had to be Canadian. Oh, yeah. So we were living in this false reality where it would be like, all these Disney it would be like Salute Your Shorts on YTV, not Nickelodeon. And then it would be some terrible, it'd be like Degrassi and then like some Canadian stuff. Like it was all lumped together. And we just, as kids, were like, yeah, this is just as good. But now you look back at those Canadian shows, which are usually on Tubi here, you're like, oh my God, I would watch Wizards of Waverly Place, a gem of I just exposed how young I am. We'd watch Wizards of Waverly Place and then watch, this like Canadian sitcom about a doodle that comes to life. He goes to high school. It's Alf, but with an animated comic character, like just absolute craziness. And we would think it's like equal quality. So good job, Canada. But when I went to work for these networks, I had no clue. Like I was like, yeah, this is this is where they make YTV shows. I had no clue that like Slime, the Kids' Choice, so like all that stuff was kind of erased from our existence over in Canada.
Oh man, you guys miss out on Slime. That's terrible.
Yeah, well, even like Disney, a big thing for my I'll educate here because again, I'm a little younger. Disney Channel had a huge culture. It definitely overtook Nickelodeon eventually because they really kind of advertised the actors as like the media training was tight at Disney. So it would be like Disney Channel games. So in between every show, you'd see like your favorite star from this show and your favorite star from that show hanging out and being friends. Oh, and they're playing games at Disney World and they're running around. So you just like, they advertised this group as like the best of friends. You had Zach and Cody and Selena Gomez and Miley. Like everybody's like high-fiving, hanging out, and the Jonas Brothers and all that. So it was a really good way to get. It was like an early MCU. Like every kid was, well, I can't miss Jonas in case Ashley Tisdale shows up or whatever. Like all of it was integrated and crossovers. We didn't have any of that. Like I had no clue that was going on. That was just Family Channel Canada. I had no stakes on any of these people.
Well, we were getting a lot of trickle down Canadian content too, because
2 a.m.
There was like some drama. It was like a teen drama on Nickelodeon. It was called like 13 or 14, something like that. And my friends and I all watched it, and then we would get together at school, and it was. I never saw Degrassi, but I'm guessing it was like that, just like a high school drama.
Definitely a ripoff of Degrassi.
It was like Saved by the Bell, but all the serious moments. So like couples breaking up and like the whininess
starring
that comes
Ryan
with
Reynolds.
And like,
oh man, that is Canadian. Yeah,
15 is what it was called.
15. Yeah, and my friends and I would watch it, and we'd come to school the next day, and we didn't know that it was Canadian, and we were like, they all say sorry so weird. Like why do they all say sorry?
That's what exposed it.
Yeah, but even back then, I didn't know that was like a Canadian accent.
That's funny.
Is
I mean,
on Prime.
Yeah, there you go. See, that's
there's
the
no way that
weirdest
holds up.
Part of living here now is like I was gaslit my whole childhood of growing up. Even when I was in some of these things, I had no clue about the culture. So I come here and I reference things, and it's just slight differences. It's like a Black Mirror. It's like a Twilight Zone episode where everything's just like enough to make you crazy. Because I'll be like, yeah, like on Life with Derek, that Disney show, and people will be like, what the hell are you talking about? And then I look up Life with Derek, and it's a Pluto TV original over here. Like it's just a weird universe to live in.
I just want to read this episode description from episode 1 of 15, which aired on February 3rd, 1991.
That's probably before Degrassi then. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Brooke checks out Matt, who obviously belongs to Ashley. Dylan faces off with Matt. Brooke tries to flirt with Dylan, but it falls flat, and she's back to plotting with Kelly. After Courtney hems and haws, she finally drops a bombshell on Billy.
Yeah, the blurb for the series in its entirety says students at the fictional Hillside School deal with a variety of issues such as dating, divorce, alcohol abuse, and friendship.
Nice.
Starring a young Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, it's like fuck, you guys are getting heavy with it.
Yeah, my God.
Gnarly.
Well, Canada was kind of just free for all. Like even still a little bit, it's a free for all. I worked on a teen sitcom that I don't know. I think it was a Netflix show here. Again, weird reality to live in. But like over there, it was on our Nickelodeon, and some of the jokes are just like there's an episode where the characters wake up, and so it's set in a high school. There's this show where they wake up in like a random season 3 episode to the school being empty, and then they exit the school and it's the soundstage that the show, which is a multicam with a live audience, it's the soundstage where the show is filmed, and they discover their characters in a TV show. I'm like, Disney would never be doing shit like that. Like that, it really was just like Canada had no rules.
Yeah, that's
I
like
feel
a plot device you save for like the 11th season. We're like, Jesus Christ, we either send them to the moon or we break the fourth wall. Which one do we do?
Yeah, but what teen sitcom? Like it was just wild. Like, and that it was a really fun space to act in too for stuff like that. But yeah, a lot of stuff that's American would film over here. So I had like a glimpse of what that would. I think the last thing I did for Nickelodeon was this movie I was cut from that they filmed. It was called Blurt. I think I could talk about it. It's called Blurt, and if they so much filmed at like the high schools around Vancouver and stuff. So, but it's like that stuff wouldn't even air in Canada probably, but they were filming it there, and weird. It's a weird space to be in. Yeah,
it is. Well, I'm super stoked that I got to work with you, Trevor. I feel like we really hit it off, even though there is an ocean of age gap between us. But like, I'm stoked that we're working on something together, sort of like behind the scenes.
One of the producers that we're talking to for the thing we're working on is in Japan.
No way.
Now. That's why. So he can't make it to the tub, but yeah. So maybe I'll send him out.
Yeah, it'd be like, how close are you to Saga? Go watch John
Dude,
Cooper.
you could stay with him.
There'd probably be less of an audience than the tub. Like, hey, go to this big screening where there's less people than the 20-seat theater.
But I love that you and I are now working on something that is just so in outer space weird to just try and take a shot at something and just be like, let's just fucking go for it and be as weird as possible.
I'm scared to send you the script.
I'm scared to read it.
Yeah. Kevin sent me a script, like a draft that was using our outline and ideas, and it's so good, but I've definitely screwed it up with what Kevin likes to call my naked gun-isms. It's definitely something else.
I don't hate it.
So I think
you
got to tame it down a little bit. It is. Oh, are you excited about the reboot? Sorry, I'm interrupting your outro.
No, we're not outroing to anything. We got some shit.
We haven't even gotten to anything other that we had on the deck yet.
Yeah, we're just bullshitting, and then we drag you into the Pooniverse. But
have y'all seen the trailers for Liam Neeson Naked Gun?
I have not, but I'm here for it. Oh my god,
it's by Akiva. I think it's by Akiva of The Lonely Island.
It is, yeah.
And they're already cracking O.J. Simpson jokes in the teasers. Like, it's so good.
I saw the headlines when that trailer came out, and I was like, I grew up worshiping the Naked Gun movies. Like, I loved Leslie Nielsen. I loved that style of humor. And I was just like, you know what? It seems like a fool's errand to try and redo it with, Liam Neeson. But I was just like, you know what? I'm going to give it a shot. And I feel like comedies a lot of times will blow their load in the trailer, and they'll put all the best bits in there. And then when you see it, all the best jokes have been spoiled. So I tried to avoid it, but I saw. Oh, when I went and saw Mission Impossible, that I like the trailer was happening, and I'm like, this is so fucking weird. What the fuck is this? And then I see Liam Neeson. I'm like, oh shit, I blew it. I just watched the trailer for Naked Gun, but it looks good. It looks good. Yeah. It's got promise. So I'm excited.
I'm hoping it kind of rounds comedies back out, which I know every year all of us are like, oh, this will be the one to bring back R-rated comedies.
Yeah.
Thanks, no hard feelings. But then, it's kind of just doesn't. So I don't know. I'm hoping that I think for what we're working on, Kevin, I'm hopeful between that type of style coming back and Finn, another Vancouver boy, but Finn Wolfhard just did this summer camp slasher that's like very cheesy, raunchy, and was kind of a big hit. So between all those styles, I'm hoping that whatever it is we're cooking up would come at a good time to get funding.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
I think the elements in it are going to be catchy enough to get people interested. I think it's got the right elements.
I'm pumped about it.
Some stuff that people want, and it's also just out there and weird enough to be like, well, that's something new. That'll open some eyes. So
should we talk vaguely about that secret thing you and I are working on that we can't let anybody else know about yet either?
But
No.
your feet only fans?
We're booping our toes out just a little bit.
Yeah, man.
No, just keep that between us right now. We'll drop that afterwards.
Yeah. But Trevor, since you're here,
Yeah.
we have reoccurring games we like to do on the show.
Oh
And
my
this
God, is it Randy Pooman? Tell
It
me
is
it's
Randy Pooman.
I get to hear my own work.
That Trevor helped us make. It just sort of organically came up on a Patreon show one time. People really liked it, so we turned it into a bit. Trevor made us some music for it, which is phenomenal. It's almost like you stole it directly from Randy Newman himself.
Well, dude, can I say, when you pitched that, like, it was kind of out of the blue. We were in the midst of talking script stuff, and then like some other time in the week, you were like, "Hey, Randy Newman instrumentals," and I was like, "All right," like I had no clue what it was for really. And then I tuned into that episode because I was so curious, and it blew me away. I had no clue it was going to be that. I've had the Human Centipede one. Of all the bugs that I had to beat, like I've had that as a vocal stem for the last month. I just keep letting it out. So yeah, it's been. I'm honored to have been a part of that. Didn't know at the time, but yeah.
Well, we couldn't have you on and not play the game with you. So just to get everybody up to speed, so no one is left behind. Randy Newman did a lot of stuff in the 80s and 90s. He's got a very distinct voice and a very distinct style, where when he would be chosen to score a movie, I don't even think score is the right word for it. He would just write songs for movies that were so fucking on the nose, describing what's happening in the scene or what the plot of the movie is. A style that I feel like if somebody brought him back to like score a movie in 2025, people would be like, what the fuck is happening right now?
Kevin, I gotta fact check you here. I've got to take a shuddy moment. Randy Newman is also a composer, and he does continue to score movies.
Oh, okay. He just leaves his silly voice.
He's
out
like
of it.
a great composer. Is the irony? Like, I think that some of his scores are incredible. Like he did Pleasantville.
You just got goobered.
I did get goobered.
I don't know. That felt like a shuddy moment, but yeah, like Pleasantville. I mean, like even like those Pixar scores and stuff. Like some of those are really iconic. It's just the fact that the songs that he'd write they sounded different than the score. Let's put it that way.
I mean, we just showed Toy Story to my nephew Jack for the first time ever when we had our little family vacation in Florida, and I forgot about. I mean, the obvious one, "You Got a Friend in Me," is like, that's the big one. But there are
quintessential Randy Newman.
Yeah. But there are so many fucking Randy Newman songs there that I completely forgot about because I hadn't seen. It's been decades since I watched it.
The sad buzz one, yeah.
Oh, where he's like, "Strange things are happening to me."
Oh yeah, no, there's that, but no, then there's the ballad.
Oh yeah,
where Buzz is trying to fly.
Yeah,
and it goes on for what seems like 7 minutes. All love. I do like the songs of Toy Story. I can't hate as someone who writes songs for cartoons. They're great stuff. But specifically the Bugs. You ever heard the Bugs Life song?
I don't think so.
It starts with, "Was a bug, tiny bug, hardly there."
Yeah, he's not digging deep. You don't have to think too hard about what Randy Newman is getting at. He's going to fucking tell you.
It's like they sent him a screener of the movie and he paused on frame 10 and went, "Bug." And then he pressed play and he went, "It's over there."
You're like, "Look, Randy, the script is locked up tight. We can't give you too much information, but it's about bugs." "Well, say no more. I'm a bug. I'm a fucking stupid ass bug." All right, gold. Once again, Randy, just gold, absolute gold. Thank you so much.
You never miss, Randy Newman. You never miss.
So Randy Pooman is where a song is written for a movie that does not feature Randy Newman and would probably be quite inappropriate to feature Randy Newman doing a song about it. So the way it works is I'm going to sing you guys a Randy Pooman song, and odds are you're going to get them quick. So just let the song go. Raise your hand up when you have a guess, and then when the song wraps up, whoever gets their hand up first gets to take the first shot at it.
It's not very nice to tease Jeff like that. He's gonna get him quick.
Al, he might.
Did you simplify them for game 2?
No, all I'm saying is, you know, a lot of these, there's by the time the song finishes, nobody's going to be like, what the fuck is this?
Do they go from least expensive to most expensive?
They do not. This is not weird fucking Facebook shit rules. They just kind of go. By the way, same weird Zoom rules apply. It's going to take a minute for you guys to hear the music, but rest assured, it's playing. All right, get your hands on your buzzers, gentlemen. Randy Pooman is about to drop a song on you. Hold on, let me get a sip of water. Got to warm up the pipes. All right, I won't do my vocal exercises. Okay.
Oh, Harriet Stamper is on the case when he's asked to help out the United States. There's an asteroid that's the size of Texas. If he don't win, then it's going to wreck us. He's gonna need some payment first, but he's not a mooch. While Ben Affleck puts animal crackers inside of his daughter's cooch. An asteroid is coming, we know where it's headed. Straight to Earth, cause it's Armageddon. An asteroid is coming, we know where it's headed. Straight to Earth, cause it's Armageddon.
All right, Jeff, I know this is a tough one. You had your hand up first.
Greatest
movie?
movie ever, Armageddon. He didn't want to pay taxes.
Almost the greatest. If Randy Newman had made that song for Armageddon for the credits, then
Yeah, instead of Aerosmith, if it was that Randy Newman song.
I am not here to shit on Randy Newman. Of course, we're doing the Randy Pooman song or segment, but Aerosmith kind of kicks ass.
I mean,
they did an iconic song, right?
I mean, yeah, but here's the thing: Randy Newman could do "Dude Looks Like a Lady," but Aerosmith couldn't do "You've Got a Friend in Me." So
no, but I don't know if Randy Newman can do "I Don't Want to Miss a Thing." Do you, Kevin? Do you want to do "I Don't Want to Miss a Thing" in Randy Newman voice?
I don't want to close my eyes. I don't want to miss a thing.
That's all I remember of it. I did dance to that song at my
and I don't want to miss a thing.
Animal crackers, don't want to miss a thing.
I danced to that song, that Aerosmith song, at prom that year with my prom date.
Dude, okay, can I tell you something about how much it sucked to be young in the time that I was young? Do you know what my middle school slow dance song was?
Oh, no.
This is going to make you all feel extremely...
I'm going to want to
Did you-
kill myself after he says this.
Yeah.
Did you have "I Don't Want to Miss a Thing" play at your prom as well, Cooper?
No, my slow dance song was The Lazy Song by Bruno Mars. The one where he goes, "Today I don't feel like doing anything." You remember that?
I don't think
the
I even
radio
know that
hit
song.
of 2006 or whatever. That's
my
what
God.
they played for the kids to slow dance to when I was growing up.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you a single Bruno Mars song, actually.
Well, I don't know how. I feel like you walk outside. Like, Bruno Mars is kind of like The Weeknd. I'm about to get some hate for, this is my, like, I'm going against my Canadian
Take it
roots
easy,
here.
yeah. Don't stab
Oh, are you?
fellow
Wait,
connects in the back.
Are you okay? Is anyone here a Weeknd fan? Anyone a fan of
I like The Weeknd.
Really? Okay, I'm going to tell you something, Jeff. You are the first person I've ever met in my entire life that would boldly say, I'm a fan of The Weeknd, right? However, The Weeknd is the number 3 most popular artist of all on Spotify. That is the most, like, when I think of popular artists, I don't think The Weeknd. That's not where my brain goes
You
right
gotta
away.
play
I've
the
never
Super
been like,
Bowl.
no, for sure. But he's kind of like just the background. Like, he's in, don't get me wrong, I have songs by The Weeknd saved. Everybody on earth must have songs by the Weeknd save.
Yeah.
But who's thinking about them? You know what I mean? Like, he snuck his way to number 3 by being in everybody's libraries. Because nobody's like I refuse to believe, other than you, that there are diehard fans. I feel like people just walk on the street and then see that he's playing an arena and walk in. You know what I mean? Like,
Jeff's
I
favorite
refuse to
musician is
believe-
Pitbull.
All right. I don't want to hear anything about Bruno Mars, Jeff.
Whoa, I'm not a Pitbull fan.
Oh.
Don't listen to him.
All
You
right.
just made that up. I do like
Well,
the
the fact
Weeknd.
that
though.
you even know Pitbull song. Yeah, okay, I respect it. It's nice
I
to
couldn't
meet
tell
somebody.
you a single. Whoa, don't
When I
do
tell
that to
you-
me. All right, you're on my fucking show. I don't know. I can't tell you a single Pitbull song. I know nothing about Pitbull.
When I tell you, the reason I ask is because I've done that in stand-up. Like, I think that once I went on the rant I just did about the Weeknd, and like, how did we get him so popular, and how do we make it stop? Every time I ask a room if there's a diehard Weeknd fan, and there's never been a single hand raised in any club, any theater. There's never been like, yeah, the Weeknd. Like, nobody's ever been committed to that guy.
And if it does
Guess I'm gonna
happen,
have to-
if it does happen, odds are the Weeknd is in your audience. And he's just
Guess
raising
I'm
his
gonna have to make
hand.
an appearance at one of your next shows.
Yeah, I guess so.
Stand up
sorry,
wearing
back
my
to Pooman.
Weekend shirt. Yeah.
All right,
To Pooman.
let's do
If
it.
there's any Puminati that are Weeknd fans, please let us know. All right. Pooman.
All right, let's do another Randy Pooman song. All right, gentlemen, hands on your buzzers.
Just a bunch of pals heading into the city. Got some boxing to watch. There's beer and chips loaded in the RV. One wrong turn, things ain't good. Ended up hitting the guy in the wrong neighborhood.
I got that first.
What could be
No
worse
fucking way you
Then
did, you son of a bitch.
being mugged? Tonight's a good night to be judged.
I don't know. It looked
Trevor,
like
who do you think got it first?
it
Who
looked
you
like
looking?
Jeff got it in.
No, I get distracted by the impression every time. I keep forgetting we're supposed to be guessing, so I wasn't looking. Sorry.
It looked like Jeff got it first.
Come
Maybe
on, Shuddy. Let me have one.
maybe you're on a delay, Shuddy. Maybe you're lagging.
Well, that's the second greatest movie ever made, Judgment Night.
This game has so far been skewed to every movie Jeff loves.
There's been two of them. Take it easy. We'll see what happens at the
Yeah,
end.
Kevin, I love that you said we're gonna get Trevor on the show today. Let's do Armageddon. You know what I mean? That seems like his brand of.
Let's talk about all of Jeff's favorite movies, none of which Trevor would like.
Well, we'll see. We'll see if the theme continues.
Hey, we broke down on The Cable Guy earlier, Trevor.
That's true.
I fucking love The
That's true.
Cable Guy. One of my
yeah.
favorite movies ever.
Heck yeah! All right.
All right, here we go.
Ready.
Next, Randy Pooman song.
A couple of rocks, some stinky socks, a little puppy who's got chicken pox, cream cheese and locks, a tiny toy ox, a stack of mutual bonds and stocks. Is it a plush of a fox or just some colorful blocks? Please, oh please, just tell me what's in the box. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Gonna send some people right off to heaven. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Gonna send some bad guys probably to hell.
All right, Shuddy. You had your hand up.
7.
That is right. Shuddy boy with the point. Randy Pooman doing the score for 7.
Never even seen it.
No, I've got to apologize because I know that that's a friend. Haven't seen 7. Yeah.
What? Oh, okay, well.
I thought it was Fantastic Mr. Fox for a second. I was like,
I think
Until
it
he
fits in
said-
perfectly with your brand, Trevor. I think you would dig 7. You should check it out.
Yeah.
Until he
All right.
said what's in the box, he just was saying nonsense as far
See,
as
when
I
you
was
say what's in the
concerned.
box, I think of UHF.
Yeah, Jeff's third favorite movie of all time, the Weird Al vehicle, UHF. No, I feel like Randy Pooman, a lot of times it's very easy to get them early on, so I tried to see how long I could drag that one out before it was obvious that it was 7. All right, we'll do one more. One more Randy Pooman song. Trevor, I believe in you.
Okay.
Just have to get all this belching out of the way. All right, here we go.
It all started when a little girl pissed her pants. Father Marin wants to give her soul a chance. Her gross ass head with holy water on it. It spins around and then spews out some vomit. I'm starting to think it's not going too well. Did you know your mother sucks cocks in hell? Please don't do what the demon tells you when the power of Christ compels you. Please don't do what the demon tells you when the power of Christ compels you. Oh man, that's some gross ass vomit. Reagan getting fucking piss all over the place like that. Oh man, it's gross.
Trevor got
All right.
me barely there.
Trevor,
Yeah.
I did see you. You got the hand up first.
Exorcist, which,
Boom.
by the way, I think there were more details in that than if Randy Newman had written the song. Exorcist. That implies that he's watched the movie. I don't know.
That's true.
Little girl on the ceiling. Yeah.
Although, what a loss for humanity that Randy Newman did not do the score for The Exorcist. I mean, iconic, but come on.
Nah, he would have definitely used more instruments. Yeah. Little kazoo.
One of those slide whistles.
A slide whistle when her head's flipping around. Yeah. That's good.
Oh man, that's some crazy ass vomit.
Yeah, I love that impression. That's good stuff. You guys should do that every week.
I feel like this well is going to run out quick, which is why we only do a
you
couple
gotta spread
songs.
it out a bit.
Yeah, we can't over Randy Pooman it.
Yeah. But man,
You guys know about the little appearance of? I'm going to be a film geek for a sec. In Everything Everywhere All at Once. Did y'all catch the Randy Newman cameo?
No.
This is something I found out way later. So spoiler alert, I guess, for it. But it's been 3 years. So for everything, you've all seen Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. That's not Jeff's bag,
Sorry.
but he's never
Okay.
going to see it.
That's fair. So in the universe where it's a little like take on Pixar, and there's a raccoon who's cooking that they call Raccacoonie,
Oh yeah.
who is hiding under his hat. Raccacoonie is voiced by Randy Newman.
Oh, get the fuck out of here.
And in the scene where it's introduced, they're singing this song written by Randy Newman, which almost feels like Randy Newman being like doing a satire of himself. But they sing like a, now we're cooking while nobody's looking. I'm a raccoon, you know? It's literally on the soundtrack. It's a Randy Newman original. But that's such a like little wink to the Pixar scores and the bad songs.
I wonder if when audiences caught on to Randy Newman's gimmick, if he was like,
Aw, shucks, they got me. I guess it's time to sit back and just let the audience, the instruments do the singing for me. You guys don't get treated to these golden pipes anymore.
I feel like it's a sabotage. Like, because Randy Newman is, I'll be here to be a Randy Newman defender, a really great songwriter. And what's interesting is he wrote the other songs in the movies that he sings songs in, and they're usually better. So I've always wondered why he takes the ones that seem to, like, does he just write for him? It almost feels like a joke. Maybe he's playing us all. It's an Andy Kaufman thing. But
I
like,
hope so.
okay, I'll be nerdy. Toy Story 2, that Sarah McLachlan song that everybody cries to, and that's sort of like the running gag for the last 2 decades, is that like grown men will cry at the scene where Sarah McLachlan sings When She Loved Me, and it like won an Oscar. And it's this like, when somebody loved me, da 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 da, and it's like a toy being abandoned and stuff. That was written by Randy Newman, but he was like, I probably shouldn't take that one. Like, he knows that he shouldn't do the good ones. It's really interesting.
Don't
the
worry,
self-esteem of Randy Newman deserves to be studied.
Sarah McLachlan, I know when to stay in my lane.
But
Yeah.
like I consider Toy Story to be a five-dicker. And when you take like
For sure.
a true universally loved movie, it has to be one of those things where if any component is changed, it kind of doesn't work anymore. And if like Terminator 2, like I watched Terminator 2 somewhat recently. I've loved that movie since I was a little kid. It's fucking perfect. And the score is just incredible. Like every person is cast perfectly. Everything is done right. And if anything, any little ingredient is misused, that movie is no longer perfect. So if you took Randy Newman out of the first Toy Story, it's a wildly different movie. Like, it works because it's such a fucking perfect pairing. It's weird. Randy Newman's weird. His style is very weird and silly, but it's a different movie if Randy Newman's name is not in those credits.
Yeah. I kind of wonder why he got there in the first place. You know, like somebody at Pixar when they were a small company had to be like, "Have you guys heard Short People?" You know,
That's got to be who does our Toy Story.
There had to be a Randy Newman fan championing him 2 decades past his peak.
Yeah,
and then the rest is history.
Fun Randy Newman quote I just found going down the Randy Newman rabbit hole was that he was hired to do the soundtrack for Air Force One.
Get off my plane.
Harrison Ford?
But was fired because Peterson thought that the score sounded like a parody.
Oh, shit.
So he Randy Newman the score for Air Force One.
Randy Newman'd himself out of a gig.
Yeah.
I would have loved to have heard the song he made up in his head after he got fired. Like his walk back to the car.
Oh, damn it, Air Force One. Harrison Ford, how did I fail you?
I did go.
The Wikipedia of the films that he's scored is like the versatility is wild. Like you've got Meet the Fockers.
Oh shit!
Major League.
Right. Yeah.
He did
Marriage
the score
Story.
for Major League.
He did Marriage Story like 4 years ago with what is that? Adam Driver and Scarlett Johansson, that Oscar bait movie.
I mean, a lot of hits in the Jeff Clark universe. I mean, Major League and Marriage Story. You love those.
Man,
Well,
that adds another layer. Adds another
Major
layer
League
to the game.
Major League is a top 5 mushroom movie ever. I love that movie.
He did all Meet the Parents, Meet the Fockers.
Yeah,
I mean, those movies are just like the right level of zany
for sure.
for Randy Newman. I mean, especially if he threw the vocals in.
I don't know,
must make
Gaylord
so much
Fokker.
money.
I could milk a cat.
He's probably on contract like you were, Trevor. But how much money do you think he's made off of these film scores?
Someone could retire off of what You've Got a Friend in Me alone probably brings in royalties. So, yeah.
Yeah.
He's probably been. I mean, he could buy at least one LA home with his Toy Story money.
Oh my God.
More than one.
We can do as much like impersonations and razzing of Randy Newman as we want, but he wipes his ass with caviar when he takes a shit. So joke's on us.
Yeah.
Yes, Shuddy.
Uncle Google says that it's not publicly available, but a Canadian website estimated his worth at $100 million.
I would have went over.
Yeah, me too.
He says, however, says that this figure is way out, so likely is way out, and then making that possibly inaccurate. He has also noted that his income from royalties has remained relatively consistent over the years. So he's just consistently getting dump trucks of cash left in his driveway.
But you know, when you're going over someone's net worth, you have to compare that with his debilitating crack cocaine addiction, which is very expensive. So maybe that's why it knocked him down to $100 million.
Sure,
He was at
Crack cocaine
300.
costs money.
But according to Celebrity Net Worth, it's around $50 million.
Can
Yeah.
anyone do $200 million worth of crack cocaine?
Oh,
anyone?
I can do it.
Yeah.
Sure, people could.
I mean, we've brought this up a couple times in the show recently that summer movies are in full swing, and my AMC A-list account has got fucking smoke coming off of it for all the films that I have to see and the films that I was catching up on. I did make it to see, Jeff, like you. I saw Mission Impossible 8, The Final Reckoning. I got a good chuckle that the subtitle of the film actually gets mentioned in the movie multiple times, which
Yep.
I was like, wow, that was an interesting decision. But I don't know. We're all big fans of Tom Cruise on this podcast. I don't care what religion he has. I don't care if he does weird shit in his personal life. That fucking dude is endlessly entertaining. He makes bangers. He puts his heart and soul into it. I think when people like leaked that audio of him, like when they were shooting the last Mission Impossible during COVID, when he was like getting pissed off at people for not wearing their masks, this fucking guy wants to get you that movie. He's not going to let a silly thing like that. You think he's climbing out on the wings of planes when he doesn't have to just because he wants the paycheck? This is a craftsman. This is a dude who loves cinema. He loves entertaining people, and he puts his goddamn life on the line to make movies and put butts back in theaters. He wants you with a big tub of popcorn, sitting in the theater, watching it on a big screen, and I applaud Tom Cruise for that.
Didn't we figure out that Tom Cruise is a gender issue? Women don't like Tom Cruise, but men do.
Yeah, I think a lot of the women in my life, for some reason, have an issue with Tom Cruise.
Pretty much all the women in my life have an issue with Tom Cruise. I don't really get it.
I don't either. I love Tom Cruise. And
I
got to say, I really enjoyed Mission Impossible 8. It was fun.
First.
It was... There were certain moments where I feel like it took itself a little too seriously, where it was kind of like borderlining on Threat Level Midnight meets the last episode of Seinfeld. Like,
Oh yeah.
everybody,
I saw it too.
everybody who like had an appearance in a Mission Impossible movie had to be circled back or like retconned into canon to like explain it for the current plot, which was fine. You're wrapping up the series. You want to do it with a neat, nice little bow. You know, fucking knock yourself out. I'm not here for, Citizen Kane level storytelling. I just want some fun action sequences. I want to see Tom Cruise run really fast, which he did like 3 different times.
I have a drinking game for the last Mission Impossible, which is you drink every time they say some variation of, so what you're telling me is, you're not seriously saying, so what we're going to have to do is...
Yeah. I mean,
that's it. Like a lot of crazy plot devices, but every scene had one where it's like they take a beat and then they look at someone and they go, "You're not seriously suggesting that you're gonna have to go into that submarine." Spoilers. I'm like, how many times are they gonna ask people to repeat themselves in this movie? And it's for me. It's in case I fall asleep or anything. Like, and they're talking too much and I want to see action. They're just like, let's make sure he heard that.
I don't think it's too much of a spoiler to say that Tom Cruise saves the day. It's probably in his contract that he can't be in a movie where the day isn't saved.
No, yeah.
But like, I
moment.
burst out laughing when after Tom Cruise saves the day, there's some like, he's like the Secretary of Defense or something. They're like holed up in a bunker, camera tight right on his face. He's like, he did it. The son of a bitch, he did it. I was just like, oh my God, yes, that was so fucking Threat Level Midnight. Like everything that, even the knife that falls when he does the like falling from the string and then stopping it right before he face plants on the ground, like the knife he drops in that scene gets brought back. It's oh shit, Knifey's here. He looks great. Hasn't aged a day. Love that Knifey is here. But man, that final sequence with the airplane, like his big crazy stunt, whoa, fuck, that was sick. That was sick.
Worth the price of admission for sure.
Yeah.
I have a theory though. I was just doing a stand-up routine about this actually, but I have a sort of controversial theory about Tom Cruise, and I call it the Mr. Popper's Penguins theory. And for that, the reason is there is a movie in like 2010, 2011, family movie starring Jim Carrey, which featured these CGI penguins arriving at his door, and he had to take care of them or something. I don't remember a thing about the movie, but what I do remember is, and this is going to stick with me forever, I was like 10 or 11 when this movie came out. You know, you have a concept of how things work at that age, you know that they're not real penguins. They're like dancing to, it's from 2010, so they're like dancing to Don't Stop Believin' by Journey and stuff in this movie. And as we exited the theater, I heard a grandmother, this like almost makes me cry. I heard a grandmother say to her grandkid and her husband, how did they get the penguins to do that? And that, again, that just, I think about that 3 times a week, and it gives me a chuckle because I'm like, that woman, God bless her, is living in a reality where we've trained penguins to dance to Don't Stop Believin' by Journey and caught it on camera.
Anything's possible.
Anything's possible. But what a whimsical world.
Movie
that
magic.
Being said,
It's fucking showbiz.
I think that the Tom Cruise stunt mythos is an example of that has overtaken everyone, including you guys. And no hate. But to some degrees, a larger extent to some audience members, because it's such a part of the marketing and the campaign of those movies that Tom Cruise is doing his own stunts, that I think people mistake that for being, he actually did this. I'm not saying you believe that, but I'm saying it's this whimsical element that kind of carries us all into its reality, where I'm like, he jumped on the plane. And it's like, yeah, he does his own stunts, but stunts aren't always real. You know what I mean? Like, I'm watching him go in this green screen submarine, and I'm watching the straight fucking buff guys watching this movie, and they're like, holy fuck, it's like they're caught up that they think that Tom Cruise is genuinely deep sea level with a little bit of air and rising up all the way to get saved. Like, it's like they're watching a documentary.
Yeah. I didn't know Tom Cruise could scuba.
No, and they're the grandmothers at Mr. Popper's Penguins, and I'm happy for everybody who can be in that reality.
Well, I know that it's not
take
like
me by surprise.
He's not doing like Jackie Chan level stunts himself. Like, they are CGing out harnesses and like,
of course,
safety measures.
It's super impressive. Don't get me wrong. For his age, what he's doing, it's incredible.
Yeah,
it is
Tom
incredible.
Cruise.
I'm not hating on Tom Cruise. It's just like, he's not actually at deep sea level, guys. But I think that they've marketed it so well that we just are so taken into its reality that we are the grandmothers at Mr. Popper's Penguins when we watch those movies.
Tom Cruise and my mom are the same age. Tom
That's
Cruise
insane.
is doing knife fight choreographies. He's
a goddamn hero.
Holding his breath
He
for a
is.
very long time, even if he's not at like the bottom of the ocean floor. But he's flying around in planes, dangling off the wing. My mom,
crazy.
My mom's sentences now have intermissions in them, and they're the same age. My mom can't lift an air fryer up to cabinet level to put it inside. So,
no, he's doing something right.
Yeah.
For sure. No hate to Tom Cruise, but yeah, I do love the whimsy that we all like refuse to admit that we're receiving when we watch those movies. Because when we watch Fast and the Furious, like I watch Fast and the Furious, I don't want to see anything real. I want to see Vin Diesel riding a CGI dinosaur. Like, that's what I paid for.
Yeah.
But if Tom Cruise does anything on green screen, I sit there like a stickler because I'm like, wait, that's not,
I know.
I'm expecting realism.
And I think that's where they actually have to go in the next Fast movie to top what they keep doing, is he's got to ride a dinosaur.
Oh, man. When they went to space, like, that's my favorite Fast movie.
In a fucking Fiero. In a Pontiac Fiero in
Luna
space.
going to space in a car for a 10-minute C plot is my peak Fast and the Furious. Yeah.
And that was like the joke leading up to it. They're like, man, these movies are getting so preposterous. At what point are they going to send them into space? And then they did. And now it's just like, all right, the only frontier left is like for them to like storm the gates of heaven and bring Paul Walker back. Like that's Fast and Furious 10.
I mean, they're getting close, man.
AI.
I mean, spoilers,
AI.
but like Gal Gadot, spoiler, like showed up. I don't know if you all saw Fast X. I'm a big Fast and Furious fan.
I've
They
seen
Oh, I
brought
am
her
too,
back
buddy.
to life. Every character that has died other than Paul Walker is back.
Oh, yeah.
And sometimes they justify it, but other times I'm like, we saw her get shot on screen, and she's
Well,
back.
I mean, Michelle Rodriguez, Han.
Yeah.
Like,
It's
you
all
just,
up for grabs. At least Han, they tried to be clever with it, but Gal Gadot popping out of the submarine as a last second clip. Oh, and Dwayne Johnson showed up. It's like, oh my god, it's a telenovela. I love it. I love it. It's almost like me and Kevin, for no particular reason, have been watching a lot of beach party movies, and the Frankie and Annette '60s beach party movies. And in those, the lore is insane. It's hard to keep track of. Sometimes there are actors missing. When Frankie Avalon couldn't make a certain beach party installment, they just change everybody's character names so that they're like different teenagers at the beach, but it's still in the same timeline. And then there are some side characters that are consistent. So it's like, are you telling me that in this universe, there's two teenagers that look like Annette Funicello with different names on the same beach? Like, there's no kids, and that's what I think Fast should start doing. That, you know, like if you want to start explaining people, just cast Gal Gadot as a different character at this point. It doesn't matter.
As far as silly cinematic universes, the '60s beach party movies are not represented enough in the conversation as far as contenders go, because they are batshit fucking crazy.
Yeah, not enough Mission Impossible and Fast and the Furious conversations are bringing in beach party movies as a comparison, and that's what I came to correct today.
I'd love to just be at a bar and Trevor
That's
overhears
some
people talking about how silly the Fast and the Furious movies are. Like, if I may interject, gentlemen.
Yeah. I've yet to find one person that knows the Frank and Annette beach party movies, but we'll get there.
I also went and saw Bring Her Back. Is that on anybody's radar?
No, my brothers went and saw it though.
Here it's gross.
They liked it.
It's gnarly. It is gnarly.
Yeah.
So these guys sort of like made a big name for themselves a couple of years ago when they put out Talk to Me, that horror movie where there's like a hand, like a ceramic hand, and you play a party game and you get possessed by a ghost, and I think it made like a boatload of cash. Was pretty well received. I was a big fan of it. I thought it was a really solid modern horror movie when a lot of them are just either relying on silliness or just like, you know, the fifth, sixth entry in a series. And then this one was coming out, and it kind of looked like, they didn't show a lot in the trailers, but it looked like people were watching like VHS tapes or filming things on camcorders of rituals to perform to bring dead bodies back to life. Because they put this thing out there like, oh, some people say that when somebody dies, their spirit stays behind for like a month. So essentially you have a month to bring a loved one back from the dead. And this had a lot of buzz. A lot of people were saying that it was really creepy and, you know, these guys got another hit on their hands. And Carl and I love horror movies, and she makes me go by myself to see like the Final Destinations because she doesn't like people getting stabbed. She's not super into like the vicious kills. But things that are kind of like more on the cerebral end like this, she wants to be a part of. So we went and saw Bring Her Back in the theater, and whoa, it gets fucking nasty. There's some legitimate unsettling, just like squirming in your chair, uncomfortableness, just gross moments. And a lot of times it's creepy kids, and this one is going like creepy adult with mostly normal kids. So I did kind of appreciate that juxtaposition, that sort of trope flipped on its head. But
yeah.
Man, I was a big fan. Like, as far as movies like that are genuinely creepy, like I loved that new Final Destination, and that's because the kills were just gnarly and inventive. And I love the Rube Goldberg of like someone farts and they knock a pencil over and that pencil falls and unplugs something, and then that goes into a puddle and everybody gets electrocuted. This was legitimately just like a very unsettling, creepy horror movie that also had some pretty decent, well-done violence, practical effects. It it kicked ass. Like, I'd say the only thing that I was a little bummed out on was they didn't give you a ton of information, which if you're going for creepy and unsettling, sometimes knowing less just makes it more creepy and unsettling, which it did here. I could have used a few more drops of info on a couple of the elements, but
A few more Mission Impossible. You're not seriously telling me that.
yeah. Or Randy Newman popping in and just like filling in the gaps. That would have helped.
Wait, are you saying?
But if you want a generally like creepy, uncomfortable horror movie, bring her back. Fucking ruled.
Was it better than the first one those guys made?
I would give this one a slight edge. Yeah.
Nice. Well, that was Talk to Me, right?
Yep. Yeah. So, yeah.
Good movie. I like that one.
Now I'm just trying to see like how this week am I going to squeeze in all the shit that's coming out this weekend, because I still want to see that Friendship movie. I don't know if you saw that, Trevor.
Yeah. I mean, I'm such a Tim Robinson worshiper, so like I don't know if my opinion even counts. Like I knew I was gonna like it. It's good. It's I almost feel like some people are really loving it and saying it's like the funniest movie they've seen in a long time. I feel like by marketing it like that, it almost does the movie an injustice, because I didn't think it was the funniest movie I'd seen in a long time. It was more just, it's trippy and weird. It's A24, you know? So it's kind of like an abstract, half comedy, half drama, weird thing. And it's funny because Tim Robinson's funny, you know?
Yeah.
But it's not like a laugh out loud, like laugh per minute type of movie. It's just a weird one. I'd like compare it kind of to Dick's the Musical, which I know I got you in on, Kevin. But like, that was my favorite A24 movie. Because it was just like, it was breathtaking how bizarre and how like far it went. And this one, it's not the same vein, but I would market it the same way. So
Yeah.
I just wouldn't go in expecting it to be like a buddy comedy as much as it's just a weird little movie. Yeah.
Yeah. I want to check that out. I do want to see it while it's in theaters. I want to see the new Wes Anderson. I want to see that fucking Karate Kid. Love me some Jackie Chan. There's something else coming out this week, too.
Ballerina.
Yeah. New John Wick movie. I mean, fucking come on.
Yeah, it's the blockbusters.
I'm maxing out my AMC pass.
Well, now we got like
season.
4 a week, right? They amped it up.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. But you're still burning it out, huh?
Yeah.
4 a week's pretty crazy, man. All right. Cool.
Well, Trevor, it was fucking great having you on, man.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me.
You really did crush it in the movie. Just
thanks.
Couldn't have pictured the character of Clint better in my head than the way you brought him to life. So, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Been great to build a friendship with you, and I'm glad we were finally able to get you on MSPH. Where can people check out your stuff, your music, your comedy?
Yeah, I'm just search up Trevor Goober. Kind of everywhere, I think. Yeah.
I mean, the stuff, the songs, the short little songs you put up on your Instagram, they're always so fucking good. And like, I love seeing like, because almost every single one of them ends up going viral. Like you've even put like people, like the subject matter of your songs are like known people. It gets on their radar and then they share it and then it blows up. And
yeah, that's always a pretty gnarly, like a surreal thing lately. I'm trying to do more of that stuff. I've got a song about Trader Joe's coming out this week. Hoping I get Trader Joe's for life.
Get that gold card.
Out. Yeah. No, I mean that sounds terrible. That's not why I write songs. But yeah, it's crazy to see where it goes to. Like I think you're talking about. I did a song which is a true story. I had a dream about Patton Oswalt being my dad, and we were just walking around Home Goods. And I woke up and I was like, okay. And then I made a song about how that was my dream. And then both Patton Oswalt and Home Goods shared and commented on.
Oh my God.
It's just like, yeah, it's a weird reality to live in. So I'm grateful that my stuff reaches just the right amount of people. I don't need it to go viral. I just need it to hit, the people I respect. Yeah, like there's an actor that I really love that I just saw at the Pee-wee doc did a screening at the Directors Guild for Pee-wee Herman. And I went to that, and like there are a few artists that I just love that like I kind of shook hands with and was like, "What's up?" And one of them was like, "You're that Goober guy," and I'm like, "That's it. That's the life, man.
That's
like,
me. I am that Goober.
I am that Goober." But it's like that is more meaningful to me than any sort of like that's success to me is like the people that I love and respect and like knowing what I'm up to and knowing my stuff. It's really cool. I got to go to Patton's show because of that song. And
hell yeah.
It was rad. So yeah. Anyways, hit me up there if you want to see weird stuff. Not particularly funny stuff, but whatever the brain's thinking is what goes up there. So Trader Joe's up next for all you. I don't know if there's a big Trader Joe's Puminati Venn diagram. I don't know how many are in the middle there, but
we have a Trader Joe's insider.
Oh, really?
We really do, yeah.
Whoa. Tell them to get on the socials.
I just did a snack attack video of a new Trader Joe's snack. I love Trader Joe's. I go twice a week.
This is my spicy tempura seaweed snack. Now it seems like I'm getting paid, but
that's too healthy for me. Have you tried
the stuff?
Have you tried the root beer float flavored pieces?
No. What?
Check that out. Yeah, there's like a new chocolate covered snack that's like supposed to be like a simulation of a root beer float. It's pretty. It's got popping candy.
No way.
Covered in chocolate. Yeah, vanilla cream sandwich. I gave it a pretty nice score. It's going to come on the MSPH Patreon on Wednesday, actually.
I gotta subscribe. That's crazy.
So so I fucking love Trader Joe's. Fucking love them.
Yeah, man. Okay, well, my premise of the song, this is since nobody's still listening to this episode, the premise of the song
is it a diss track?
California. No, man.
Are you going to eat through Trader Joe's?
Crazy? No, it's that this might just be a California thing, but I have a thesis that every hot person in the world can be spotted at their local Trader Joe's. It feels like every time I enter Trader Joe's, I just see the most attractive people I've ever seen in my life. Just like models. And again, that's probably an LA thing, but I just had to make a song about that. In that I kind of use Trader Joe's as like a dating app. And I'm hoping Trader Joe's digs it. And I'm hoping I get some free spicy tempura seaweed snacks. I'm hoping I don't get in trouble, which has also happened.
Yeah, they're going to send Joe to your house to remove the ones that you bought.
Yeah, I mean, I've got beef with, I guess I can talk about this, whatever. I hope it's not slander. Josh Wine. I love Josh Wine. I made a song about how I was lonely watching Gilmore Girls with a bottle of Josh, and Josh loved it. And they were like, yeah. And so we entered this like whole email chain discussion of doing something with Josh. They were going to send me free Josh. And then last second, they were like, I think Warner Brothers is going to, like, they got a little shy about doing anything with the song because of the Gilmore Girls mention. Stuff like that. And then I never got any free. They were like, we'll send you a basket, though. Never got a basket. So I'm not afraid to say it. Never got a basket from Josh Sellers. I'm hoping Trader Joe's pulls up a little more.
Jeff will never drink their wine again.
You just made an enemy out of the Puminati, Josh, you motherfucker.
Yeah, I love that we're having this discussion, but the video will in fact get 100 views and then never do anything else. So that's how it goes.
I'll tell you what, though, Josh Wine is a premium, bottom of the shelf red wine. It's one of the better $13 bottles of red wine you could buy.
Like if you and Jeff can't get an endorsement deal with Josh after that ringing endorsement he just gave them, like I don't know what more you can do.
You get me and Trevor to cut a promo for you, Josh. You'll be selling that shit for $16.
It's like the world's most mid grapes are pissing in my mouth.
Yeah. Josh, if you're watching, send that basket, man.
Yeah.
I love how I'm just assuming it's a guy named Josh.
Yeah, so. Josh, if you send us a basket, we'll stop doing bits about your wine.
Just great Arizona grapes just jizzing in my mouth.
As we mentioned before, people of Los Angeles, if you want to see the second coming of John Cooper with us this Wednesday at 8 p.m., send a DM to @TheTubTheater on Instagram. It's playing Wednesday night at 8 o'clock in K-Town. We're going to be doing a Q&A, so come check it out.
Come squeeze up with us in a closet, in a tub.
Yeah.
In the closet. Yeah. Intimate
Very intimate.
screening.
Almost borderline erotic. But
How can it not be when you're watching Second Coming of John Cooper?
as Jeff mentioned, we do have a Patreon. If you need more MSPH in your life, we strongly urge you to check it out. Patreon.com/Mad Scientist Party Hour. We do a little extra bonus podcast every week, as well as all this other specialty programming, like Jeff's Snack Attacks, Kevin's Nerd Hole, What the Fuck Did I Just Watch with Shuddy and Dom, which is where Trevor made his Pooniverse debut a while
That was
back.
fun. Zombievers. Shuddy, we got to do Fred the movie soon.
Dude,
I've been waiting for your call.
We can do that. I know you're busy with your secret project with Kevin, so but you
I am
are
probably going to be
welcome.
writing a script after this, but yeah, no.
I mean,
please,
you're
anytime.
welcome on What the Fuck Did I Just Watch anytime between Zombievers and being responsible for Love on a Leash.
Yeah.
It's incredible that at the John Cooper premiere, you were more excited to meet me than I was excited to meet you after just watching you in the movie. Like, that was...
Oh, yeah. Well,
I'm like, we're here for you. Why are you, like, you're like...
I got integrated into the Pooniverse early because I had to see what this guy was all about, and then I think, like, through the movie, I had MSPH on in my trailer at one point. Got me in the zone to do John Cooper.
Yeah, they are very similar veins.
Yeah, I wonder why.
And if you want to see these episodes instead of just listening to them, maybe you're already there. But if you're not, check out youtube.com/Mad Scientist Party Hour. And you can also follow us on social media. I'm at Kevin Kraft.
At Shuddy Boy.
Trevor Records.
Trevor Goober.
And at MSPH Podcast. And at John Cooper Movie. Be sure to give that one a follow because as people are considering buying this film, unfortunately, social media is one of the things they look at. So if we have a high follower account, that helps us out. And if you want to join the club, all four of us have one. You can too. Go to etsy.com/shop/John Cooper Movie and get yourself a beautiful Second Coming of John Cooper poster. Who knows? If enough people buy them, I might be able to fly to Japan. We'll see.
And if you are in Saga, Japan, what's the name of the film festival?
I got to look it up. I'll tell everybody about it next week. And if you are a sports junkie and you also like to gamble, Outkick Bets with Jeff Clark has you covered.
Yeah, I'm going to podcast about the RBC Canadian Open, golf's only tournament, the PGA Tour's only tournament up there in Canada. They're in Alton, Canada. Have you ever been up to Alton in Ontario?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, I heard that the golf course is built on a gravel pit, rock quarry.
I do love me some golf, though. I should have done that when I was in Toronto.
Really? You play?
I played. I haven't done it in a while. I watch, though. I follow golf. I'm so weird with sports.
Bullshit.
I love that. I'm just going to keep interrupting the outro.
I'm asking you questions during the outro. Thank you.
Yeah, that's good.
You finally are
golf-
talking about something Jeff can kind of wade into.
Dude, yeah. Golf and racing. NASCAR mostly, but I do follow F1 a bit now. And yeah, those are like the only sports I follow.
We could talk
Fucking hell.
between... Yep. Trevor, I have a racing simulator where I play exclusively F1 games.
Shuddy Boy has essentially put up a Ready Player One rig in his house where he plays F1.
And I am up at 6 a.m. on race weekends watching practice, and I've watched every race this season. I am big into F1. The Netflix show has sucked me in.
Oh, it's good. It's good. Yeah. Man, that movie's coming out too with Brad Pitt.
I cannot fucking wait for F1 the movie.
Yeah, it looks good.
There you go.
Okay, that's Jeff Clark. Go listen to it.
All right, everybody, thank you so much for listening. But until next time, something